Hello, I'm Bill Dawson, and I'm out at Oakland Nursery, the Columbus location. And do you know April is Native Plant Month? We're going to talk about some native plants and the benefits because there are so many. With a native plant, Ohio native or Eastern native plant that grows well in this area, it adapts to certainly going to adapt to the soils that are here. It grows a really large root system deep, which is benefit to the soil, but also attracts wildlife. You're going to be feeding the birds, bees, butterflies, so it's pollinators as well. So I'm here with Cat Baumgartner, who's one of the great managers here at Oakland Nursery, and she's holding some beautiful perennials that are natives.
We got coneflower here, purple coneflower, summertime flowering. This is columbine, spring flowering that disappears later in the year, but it's an important early flower, and it's beautiful.
The echinaceas I love, I get butterflies all over them.
Oh, yeah.
And so both are great pollinator plants as well. Let's move up to shrubs. There's a lot of shrubs that are native and a lot that aren't. Then there's one that is kind of a mix, and we'll talk about that. First, we've got the chokeberries here. And right now we're early spring, so you're not seeing a lot, but you've got a chokeberry there.
Yeah, it's a nice medium-sized shrub. It has little flowers in late spring. It has a nice fall color, and it has berries, so the birds love it.
Yeah.
This is a black chokeberry. This is a red chokeberry. Now, technically, these are nativars because it's a named variety, but it's still pretty much what you would find in the wild as far as red and black.
So what's great about this is it's a native plant, and it's going to show right on the label there. Look for these signs on the labels of these plants. You're going to see native plant. You're also going to see nativars. And tell me a little bit more about nativars. It's a combination, basically.
It's a native plant, but it's a very specific one. This is winterberry holly, so it needs boys and girls to get the berries for the winter. And if it's a straight species, they're going to grow it from seed, which means no one knows what sex it is until it's like this big. So they'll find ones like, oh, this is a boy, and then they just take clones and take cuttings and propagate it from that. Give it a name like Southern Gentleman.
So you know it's a boy.
So you know it's a boy. It is a nativar, but that's only because it's been propagated with cuttings. But it's still a native.
So they're improving it for your yard or for the landscape. It's just not strictly a true native. It comes from a true native.
Well, it lets you know that it's a boy or a girl.
It lets you know that it's a boy or a girl.
That's
so that's
the advantage.
Important. Again, another one that's going to feed our birds.
Yes.
It's going to flower nicely. This gets about 6 to 9 feet, so you can really plan your landscape, coming out, looking at the different sizes, and planting native plants where you can.
Yeah.
They're also very adaptable, but some you're going to want in a wet area, some you're going to want in a dry prairie type area. And so you know your soil conditions at home, you can come out to the nursery and pick out the plants that are going to work well in that.
We've got something for every spot.
That's right. So we're going to walk and look at some big trees, some bigger trees.
All right.
We'll walk down this way. Here we are. So here's some medium-sized trees. They're certainly going to get larger than this, but the Eastern Redbud, and you really have to look at which one you're choosing as far as native. So a redbud, it's got that beautiful, very early spring bloom along the stems. Again, it'll catch some of your early bees and your butterflies, but the bees really go after this early because it blooms so early. And then a river bush. This is probably one in a little bit wetter area, maybe.
Yeah, it appreciates a little bit wet.
And we're getting that wet today, a nice spring rain.
And if you want a big shade tree, tulip poplar, really fast growing. They get nearly as big as oaks if you give them long enough. And when they get old enough, you get these cute little tulip-like flowers on the ends of the branches.
Love them.
They're so cute. You have to wait about 10 years before you see that when they're about 15, 20 feet.
And you plan for it because, yes, this will get 50 to 70 feet tall and a good spread on it. So this is going to be a a signature tree in
Yeah.
in a large space. Um, and really look for those signs that say native on the sign. Oakland does a great job of putting that signage out, whether it's native, nativar, all of those, and they're mixed in with everything, but you can find them. And my favorite tree is an oak tree, and there's a lot of native oaks: a bur oak, the white oak, swamp white oak,
Scarlet oak,
red
Shumard
oak, shumard, shingle oak, and they are a beautiful tree. Certainly feeds our squirrels.
and more than that, like
And
the white oak supports almost 300 different critters,
that's something.
and if you like the birds, you can feed them seeds, but they can't feed their babies seeds.
No.
They need lots and lots of caterpillars.
Right?
And those big trees will support caterpillars. They can take a little nibble. The trees aren't hurt really.
Right.
It's just
No.
like a little
No.
annoyance, and they feed the birds. You get more birds.
That's what come here. That's why I've always called the oak the giving tree.
Yes.
It really does. It provides for us. We certainly can, have the acorns, the nuts. Native Americans ground that into flour, and we build with them. We do so much with the oak, but it's a beautiful tree. If you turn around there and look at this oak behind us at the education center, I think a hawk just flew right up in it, so that was perfect. Beautiful old oak. That one's got to be 80 to 100 years old. And about 80.
Yeah.
So remember, April is Native Plant Month. Natives are good for us. It's good for wildlife, good for birds, bees, bats, butterflies, hawks, everything. Come to Oakland Nursery, any one of the 4 locations of Oakland Nurseries all around town, and pick out your plants for spring, summer, fall, and winter interest. They've got it all right here. I'm Bill Dawson with Cat Baumgartner. We'll see you next time.